The idea that 180 steps per minute is some kind of optimal cadence for runners is, of course, just a myth. But you probably already knew that since you're an intelligent runner who has watched some of my videos before. Many factors determine the best cadence for each runner at any given time, ranging from the running's pace to individual difference in body type. Another factor to consider is the surface you're running on. Is it soft or is it hard? We can compare this to running a business. You have income and you have expenses. Sometimes increasing your expenses can be worthwhile if it means that your income will increase even more. However, if your income drops, it might be a good idea to review your expenses. Adjusting your cadence slightly during a race can maximize the performance of your company. I mean your running performance. This video will show you how that works. Hello and welcome, my name is Fredrik Zillen and I'm your running technique specialist. And I have helped thousands of runners to achieve a more efficient running stride, from complete beginners to runners who have competed in the Olympics. Since 2014 I have done around 10,000 tests with my 3D cameras, which show exactly how runners move, how much energy they expend per meter of runnings or yards, how they load their joints and so on. And yes, here is another video about cadence. One reason for this is the persistent myth that 180 steps per minute is some kind of optimal cadence for all runners at all paces. However, not all elite runners take 180 steps per minute. Even for the same runner, cadence can vary greatly. I recommend watching my video Facts Not Myths about cadence and stride length, in which I analyze the 10,000 meters World Championship final. The winner, Mo Farah, had a cadence that varied by 27 steps per minute between his highest and his lowest cadence, the 5 times it was measured during the race. It was ranging from 173 to 200. The same was true for the runner-up Joshua Cheptegei, whose cadence also varied 27 steps per minute from 180 to 207. I'll put a link to that video in the description below, which you can watch after this one. And now let's talk about how you can vary your cadence dependence on the surface you are running on. Before I tell you what to do exactly, I want to talk briefly about the stretch shortening cycle, a topic I covered in many other videos, but maybe you are new to my channel. It is the rubber band effect built in the elastic parts of your body that gives you an energy return. In short, the more energy return you get, the better. Of course, there are exceptions, such as forcing the energy return in an uneconomical way. For now, though, let's ignore the exceptions and let's focus on the positive effects of the rubber band effect. How much energy return you get depends on a number of different things, such as your leg stiffness, strength, elasticity, where you land in relation to your center of mass, your body's leaning, and so on. Another major contributing factor is your contact time, how long your foot is on the ground. The shorter the time your foot is on the ground, the more energy you get in return. It is very easy to feel how much your contact time and the stretch shortening cycle affect your performance. There are many ways to do this, to show this to people, but this time I'm going to compare it to strength training. This is because I do a lot of strength training myself, as I compete in the sport High Rocks and have just qualified for the High Rocks World Championships for the 4th time in my age group, which has now given me a way to squeeze in this picture from my latest victory, which was in the mixed doubles a few weeks ago. If we were to do deadlifts, for example, and you put the barbell down for a second before lifting it again, while I let the barbell mostly just bounce off the ground, I would probably be able to lift heavier weights and do more reps, compared to just putting it down for a second and then lifting. If the barbell has a long contact time, which it does when you put it down for a second before lifting it again, you get less energy return and you have to work harder with your muscles. If the ground you're running on is soft, your feet will stay on the ground for a longer time and your energy return will decrease dramatically. Just think about how it feels to run on a rain-soaked muddy lawn compared to a hard gravel road. Since the rubber band effect can't generate that much income, you need to review your costs. And the biggest expense is the up and down movement. And what did I say give the greatest reduction in vertical displacement of your center of mass? The cadence. So when you come to a section where the ground is extra soft, such as a swamp or a sandy beach or whatever, and you don't get as much energy return from the stretch shortening cycle, it is good to have a slightly higher cadence to reduce the cost of vertical movement. But when you get out of the swamp or the beach or whatever soft ground you were running on, you go back to the cadence you had before you started to run on the really soft ground. Now, note that I'm not saying that you should lower the cadence on hard gravel roads or streets or on the track, but that you should have a higher cadence than normal when running on ground that is soft. And the softer it is, the more important it is to have this higher cadence. And this means that you should consider changing your cadence a little now and then, especially if you are running in trails, as the ground can sometimes be hard and sometimes be very, very soft during the same race. If you come to a section where it's first hard gravel road followed by this rain-soaked and muddy grassy lawn, followed by a hard gravel road again, it may be a good strategy to maintain your cadence when you're running on the hard gravel road, but increase the cadence during the section with the muddy lawn, where it's very, very soft, to reduce the vertical displacement and save energy when you don't get that much energy return from the stretch shortening cycle. And this is despite the fact that you are maintaining exactly the same pace on both places. So how do you change your cadence then? Well, it's a bit tricky. I also made a video called Don't Change Your Cadence by Changing Your Cadence, where I go through some of the ways you can change your cadence naturally as opposed to actively trying to just increase it. It should just be happening by itself. I put a link to it in the description below. But if you want to know more exactly how to do it, step by step, I highly recommend my online course, The Art of Efficient Running Technique, which you will of course have lifetime access to and which you can find at fredriksillen.com. Or maybe you think that it's too complicated to have to think about this kind of things when you are running. Personally, I do this automatically because I've known how it works for so many years. And if you don't want to optimize your energy efficiency, you don't need to adjust your cadence based on the surface. Everyone can do as they please. For example, you don't have to click the subscribe button to my channel, but you can of course do so to avoid missing more tips on running technique, which you can also then ignore if you want to after you have watched them. See you in another video.